Okay, thank you so much. I can say good morning to everyone. This is Kukumo channel. Thank you so much for watching. Today we are going to look at the play that Soothers by Sylvester Onzivua. We are going to give it a quick talk, so please pay attention and follow everything. For more information, you can subscribe, like, and follow so that every time we put important content, you're always updated. The information given here is to help you add, adjust, and improve on your reading. It may not be final, but it is there just to help you. Let's take a step into the text, because I'm just going to give you a simple guide. The Heart Soothers is a play by Sylvester Onzivua. When you look at the setting of the text, it is set in the contemporary Africa. It addresses issues of tradition and modern civilization. Because when you look into this play, it majorly brings out two characters, that is Jimmy and Minnie. When we really see, we realize that it is contemporary Africa, whereby these two people have attained university as a level of education. Briefly about the book, this play explores the clash between tradition and modern civilization. This is manifested in the institution of marriage and love and relationships in the contemporary African setting. A lot of questions arise, i.e., must parents choose marriage partners for their children? Can educated women fit in rural settings? Is church marriage superior to traditional marriage? Does infidelity solve marital challenges? All these questions come to pass as the protagonists struggle to make ends meet in their relationship. When we have the two as major characters. The playwright uses here to echo the need for the preservation of the traditional values, because we see that here is the mother to Jimmy and Rachel, and she lives in a village setting whereby she still preserves the traditional values. You remember somewhere she talks about the catechist's daughter, that Jimmy she would be the best wife to Jimmy other than Minnie. So culture and heritage, while embracing the positive aspects of Western civilization. So in this text we really see that the mother is completely against that modern way of life and living, marriage, something like that. So the text starts when Jimmy has taken his fiancée Minnie to the village to meet his mother here. Jimmy's mother seems not to be impressed with Minnie's lifestyle, and in her mind she has the catechist's daughter as the best wife for her son. To make matters worse, Minnie breaks Ear's pot, which has been there for generations. This makes Ear to lament that in the broken pot she sees her own death and the death of her son. We really see this, that Ear is completely against Minnie and how Minnie treats herself. As Minnie continues to live with Jimmy, or continues to go in with Jimmy in everything they do, we see that Ear is not pleased as a mother of the African setting. She is not pleased, and she does not like Minnie, however much Minnie tries to do everything for her as a mother-in-law. Jimmy and Minnie's relationship seem to be flourishing. Jimmy wants Minnie to permanently move in with him, but at first she is resistant, but later she succumbs to the decision, to the request of Jimmy. Several months later, all is not well. When Minnie's friend Florence pays her a visit, we see that they talk about the unfaithfulness that has started cropping out within to their relationship. That is Minnie and Jimmy. Then Jimmy starts to start lying against Minnie, even providing that issue of the letter where he tells her to write at the back of the letter, calling the other woman at the workplace as a husband snatcher, something like that, to that level that Jimmy is now starting out to be a liar to his life, to his life partner, that is Minnie, the woman he has loved so much, the woman he has defended against his mother, the woman he has vowed to be with from the beginning, however much a lot has been said. So because of that, the fights and the disagreement that is happening right now, because Minnie later on moves into Jimmy's house permanently, and remember Jimmy is working, is having a friend called Patrick. So Florence ill advises Minnie to get a Panadol, but as well we don't know what has really changed Jimmy's mindset about Minnie before the end of the text, not until we realize that Jimmy is in love with a person somewhere else, and that is Jess. So let's proceed and say Jimmy seems to have come to his senses and now wants to formally visit Minnie's parents. He prefers traditional marriage to church wedding. Jimmy one time says, in the white man's culture, a woman goes to her new home through the church, but for us, she goes to church through her new home. Their conversation is cut short when he gets a message that his mother is ill. He prepares to leave for village. Jimmy's absentia. In Jimmy's absentia, we see that Minnie invites her Hatsuda Jogo. Therefore, all this comes in when we come to realize that things are not really working out well, because all is this that Minnie starts doing all this because she sees that Jimmy has completely changed from that husband she married to somebody else. Jimmy is ill-advised by his friend Patrick. Minnie is also ill-advised by her friend Florence. So the friends in this play a very big role in the separation of these two people. That's Minnie and Jimmy. Remember, we are having characters like Ia, that is the mother of Jimmy. We are having Rachel, sister to Jimmy and the daughter to Ia. We are having Jogo, that is a brother to Florence. Where we are having Florence herself, the sister to Jogo. Remember, Jogo is now, later on, it is going to be realized, or it was realized, or it is realized at the end of the text, that Jogo is as well as the owner of the pregnancy that Jess is having. Is a Hatsuda, is a Panado to Jess, as well as Jess is Hatsuda to Jimmy, and then Jogo at the same time turns out to be the Hatsuda or Panado of Minnie. But all this is brought about because of Florence, because Florence is the friend to Minnie and Florence is the friend to Jess. When we talk about the Hatsuda within the text, we don't only mean love alone, but to soothe means to calm down something. Remember, so many people have babies. When you soothe the baby, when you calm down the baby, the techniques you use, it is called soothing. So within this text, the heart soothers, it is picked from that point of where somebody is put to the point that he or she is at rest or feels peace or has calmed down. Something like that. So within this text, we have so many heart soothers. Anything that makes somebody get a peace of mind, anything that can make somebody to calm down, anything that makes somebody to feel good is referred to as a heart soother. Because when we talk about heart soother, we are not only looking at love. That's where we are going to talk about Jimmy and Minnie, where we are going to talk about Jogo and Jess, but as well we can look at other things, like for example, we can talk about the pot and ear, that pot that has moved for generations and generations. When it breaks, ear sees her own death. She laments It is something that has been making her really feel okay, feel cool. So it is a panadol. It is a heart soother to her. When you look at the games that Rachel play, when she's playing while at home, she's not minding about the work that is left behind by the mother. The games she's playing, that game she is playing, it is a heart soother to her, because it is something that soothes her heart, something that soothes her mind to cool down. However much she's playing in the wrong time, but it is a heart soother to her. When we go ahead to see something else, it is we really realize that Jimmy is a husband to Minnie. However much they are not yet officially married, but we see that their infidelity, Jimmy's infidelity, brings us to a point of realizing that we are having what we call the panadol, or the heart soother within the text, other heart soothers, but these ones are brought in with the issue to do with love. Like for instance, Minnie is a heart soother to Jimmy, because we see that Jess is a heart soother to Jimmy, because after everything that takes place within Jimmy's home, Jimmy always finds peace when he is with Jess. As well as Jogo is a heart soother or panadol to Minnie. Everything that takes place to Minnie and her place, how they are getting disagreements, not minding about the family plans they are having, she finds peace and safe haven within Jogo, who comes to soothe her. At the end, even they even sleep, they are caught sleeping together in the house. And as well as when we look at Patrick is a friend to Jimmy. So Patrick plays a very big role in Jimmy's life as a friend, as he calms him down, he advises, helps. So all what he does, we can also term him as a heart soother. As well as when you look at Florence is a heart soother too. Jess, because she is a friend, as well as Florence is a heart soother to Minnie. Whatever Minnie goes through, at times Florence visits her, though we really see that she ill advises her. But as well, she does not leave Jess also alone. So her contribution within the play, we see her as a heart soother to the two people, that is Minnie and Jess. So as we proceed, we will really look at, we can as well consider these characters to be talked about in a different way. So the major characters, we have Jimmy, we have Minnie, we have Ia, Patrick, Florence, and then Jogo. These characters have their character traits. Remember, when you want to really understand the character, you really have to look at the other characters, what they say about this character, the behavior of the character, what does the character do, and what is the contribution of the character. There you'll understand. So character and characterization, whereby so this point is character and characterization, where the playwright or author takes up the role of giving character traits to characters according to the message that he or she wants to portray or present out. For example, Jimmy is a company executive director. Of course, he is presented here as a working man. You can really see that when it is really brought out. We can say that he's a male chauvinist, because for him he feels that he should dominate everything. You see him discussing matters of marriage with his wife, Minnie. He always makes it clear that he wants to do what he wants and will not do what Minnie wants. That's why even he goes ahead to get somebody out and then keeps on lying to Minnie. And then is assertive, like for example the issue of the catechist's daughter. Like for any other boy or son, for a woman, Jimmy would give in and accept his mother's decision of marrying somebody else away from what the heart says, but he rejects it. So he's unfaithful as he goes ahead to start sleeping with the Jess outside a marriage that they are having. He's deceitful. So Jimmy is a liar. He lies that he's going to a trip somewhere, yet it is not true. And then he's irresponsible. Jimmy leaves the responsibility of the family into the hands of nobody. They have plans with Minnie of developing themselves. They even opened up an account for the family for their future goals. But after Jimmy starting to going out for other women, Jimmy forgets all what he is supposed to do. As well as while in the village, his mother says much about him taking over after his father and everything, that the responsibility of the family is in his hands, but later on Jimmy forgets it. And then when you look at Minnie, Minnie, she's a primary school teacher, as well as Jimmy's fiancée. She's loyal, she's respectful, and tradition. She's vengeful, because what happens here is that she goes in to sleep with Jogo just because she wants revenge against Jimmy, her husband. Then here she is Jimmy's mother. She is a disciplinarian, because we see that she really minds about the discipline of the children. Like, for example, she finds Rachel playing instead of taking care of the beans on the fire source, as well as when they break the pot, you see how she reacts. She's hardworking. Then when you look at the other characters like Jimmy and Patrick and Florence, these ones are really tough within this, because they ill advise. They are friends to the two characters. Like, for instance, Patrick is a friend to Jimmy, and then Florence is a friend to Minnie, as well as a friend to Jez and a sister to Joko. When you look at their character traits, their target party is mainly here we see it as something that ruins the relationship between the two, that's Jimmy and Minnie. However much they do something good and they know each other for something somewhere from far, but it is not really brought out properly. So when we talk about the contemporary society, in most parts, people really forget or really get channeled to something else. Currently, literature looks at the relevance. When you talk about contemporary society, contemporary means something that is current. Like, for instance, where we are living currently, this situation, the community we are living in, is contemporary because it is current. When we are talking about literature, normally now currently we are considering its importance. That's the relevancy. And then we look at the lessons. So these are major three things that you people need to quote when you are really reading any work of literature. Let it be poetry, let it be novels, let it be plays. Consider these three aspects. That is relevancy, lessons, and then the ideas. For that matter, how do we really mitigate those within our daily life? For example, when we talk about relevancy, with the relevancy, you look at something that is happening within the text as well as it is happening in our contemporary society. That is relevancy. And then to look at that something that is within the text, it is either poetry, plays, or novels. We get this from the ideas, and ideas are the themes. For example, the themes within this text, we have marriage. Marriage is there, if I'm not mistaken. We have traditionalism. We have family conflict. We have love and relationship. We have education. You may ask me where am I getting this, but when you look at the two characters, for example, Jimmy and Minnie, we can drive out the theme of marriage. They are married. We can and when his mother Jimmy, it is talking about the catechist's daughter, still that is marriage. We can look at education, because Jimmy and Minnie are educated. They have university level. It is also a theme. We can look at friendship, and friendship can be observed through this character. Like, for instance, the association between Jimmy and Patrick, the association between Florence and Minnie, Jez and the Florence can drive out what we call friendship. When we talk about family as a theme, it is can be observed through Jimmy's visit into the village, to the village of his mother, to his home village, where we see Jimmy's mother and Rachel, and then Minnie and Jimmy himself. That's family. We can talk about the issue of death, because at the end of the text, Jogo is killed by Jimmy after him being found in Jimmy's house while with Minnie, and then Jimmy's mother also dies at the end of the text. So that one also brings out the issue, the theme, or the idea of death. We can talk about the something to do with love, the love that exists between Minnie and Jimmy before them getting spoiled. It is something that can be talked about so much. We can talk about tradition versus modernity. Like for instance, when the two characters are arguing about which way to use when they are getting married, like traditional way or modern way, going through the church first or going through the traditional way first. So the love issue, this one is portrayed through the two characters, that is Minnie and Jimmy. They love each other. Yeah, it is true. That is observant before them getting the wrong directions. We have infidelity. So these two people are not faithful to one another, or you can call it unfaithfulness within the text. So the two characters are not faithful to one another. But where does that one come? Where does it come from? It comes in because Minnie is taken to be not producing, and Jimmy believes that it is Minnie's problem. Instead of them sitting down and talk about it, Jimmy goes ahead to find a new love for himself in the name of Jess. And then when we go ahead, we can talk about something to do with disagreement within married couples. So disagreement is also an idea. Yes, Jimmy and Minnie disagree. Yes, as they are staying together, they do not disagree. When you talk about tradition, Minnie is so much concerned about her getting married after Jimmy taking a bride price to her father's place. That is tradition. And then when you talk about superstition, because superstition is also within the text, this one is observed through Minnie herself, because she believes that it is not right to go into a man's house without doing what is right first. Like for example, not being introduced. So she first of all hesitates to move in with the Jimmy for marriage. So when you're talking about relevancy, you look at something that's happening within the work of literature vis-a-vis what happens in our current society. So when we're talking about relevancy, we can say relevance of the text to our contemporary society, or this play, The Heart Soother by Sylvester Onzivua. We can see that in the text, in the play The Heart Soother, there is friendship, and the friendship in the text we said that it is through Jimmy and Patrick, Florence and Minnie, and then Florence and Jess. As well as in our society, people are friends. We have marriage in the text, which is also happening in our current society. So it is a comparison. We be like comparing what is in the text with what is in our contemporary society, with what is in the society where we are living currently. And then when you talk at the lessons is what we learn from the work of literature. But it is not a must that we must learn from that work of literature, because literature is there to be used by everybody. But it's not a must that people must learn. Yes, we have seen movies, we have seen different works of literature talking about some things, but still people do not learn from them, however much it is there. So it is a must. Why am I saying this? It is because sometimes we own our statements, of which when we are answering this question, we are not supposed to own them, but we are supposed to state them like in a proverbial way, like to create meaning. The statements, like they must be direct. Like for example, when we're talking about the lesson within the text, we can say something to do with you can say east or west home is the best. Why am I bringing this? Like, for instance, it is an example. Jimmy is living in the city with Minnie, but however much they are living in the city, at time comes Jimmy visits his mother. As well, when he hears that the mother is sick, Jimmy also finds time to go, however busy he is. As well as when they tell him that the mother is dead, he also is paralyzed because of everything. You can even go ahead and say, nothing can be hidden forever. Why am I bringing this statement? Is that Jimmy, with his infidelity characteristics, is caught. Is caught by his actions. Minnie starts to suspect that Jimmy might be having somebody else. Then as well, Jugo and Minnie are found red-handed in Jimmy's house. So with lessons, we just state them like proverbs. So something to talk about the relevance of the title of the text, the hard soda. The title is relevant to the play, whereby when the younger graduates, Jimmy and Minnie, get misunderstandings, their acquaintances, that is Florence and Patrick, the friends, because acquaintance means somebody you know,